Hi, hello, it's Jody Shirami. How's everyone doing today? This is Astro Podcast, and this is Radford with his new hairdo. We got him all shaved for the summer, and he's a lot happier, and he really wants to hang out and sit up here with us. So how's everyone doing? This is my weekly astrology report, and we are in the middle of April. We are there. Tax day is on the 15th, and the 17th is next Friday. And this is Astropod_cast. I'm Jody Boots. This is at Jody Boots. On YouTube it's Jody Boots 22, and everywhere else it's Jody Boots. How is everyone doing? I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. The moon's in Capricorn today, and it'll be shifting out to Aquarius as the weekend progresses. And on Sunday the 12th, Mars, that is now in Aries since yesterday, will be meeting up with Neptune on Sunday the 12th. And that is Mars meeting up with Neptune at 2 to 3 degrees about of Aries. And remember, Neptune was already in Pisces back and forth, where it is the ruler of. And here it is still in that conjunction with Saturn. Even though it happened a while back, they are still together in terms of their energies, are still working on us becoming more in touch with ourselves and our spirituality and our dreams, and using Saturn's capability of working through tough times to make those dreams come true and see if they can come true. So basically, this whole week coming up with Mars now in Aries, its home sign, and the sun is here, so it's exalted. We are now in that phase of Aquarius era beginning, where we as individuals need to step up to the plate, like in baseball, where we go up there and we try to hit the ball and get to first base and all the way to home run to get a point, a run, right? So we right now are in that midst with all the stellium here in Aries. And a stellium is when there's at least 3 planets in there. And right now, as Mars is shifted in, there is 6 planets in. 6 planets and some asteroids in there with the sun and Mars and Neptune and Saturn. So it's a lot. And Venus is in Taurus. She's out of Aries. And pretty soon Mercury will be moving in. So Sunday is a big day where we're going to be dealing with our own need to express ourselves. We're going to have this energy that I've already been feeling it a lot. And you're going to have a lot of energy coming up to really do things and initiate things, but you don't have to be in a rush. But hopefully you have kind of a plan going. If not, you can still work on your plan. It's not like you have to rush in. Depending on where your birthday is, you may have more time, depending on the degrees of your birth, because right now Saturn is at about 5 degrees and has two more years here before it moves out. I don't think it moves out to 2029, I think. So you have a little bit of time to get things going. You don't want to rush, because Neptune is about visualizing, so you still have a little time to do that. But it would behoove you to start moving a little bit towards what it is that you want to do. This is the time of the individual, and that's why it's leading us into the time of Aquarius, because Aquarius is about the individual being yourself, but then being a part of a group. And that's why Aries and Aquarius are kind of very compatible. They actually are compatible. And Aries is Aquarius's third house of neighborhood, people you maybe went to high school with or you played competitive sports against. This is the third house. It's community. It's extended family. It's just where you go, maybe out to your favorite restaurant. So this is the number 3 for Aquarius. So Aquarius, dealing with this needs you to, with Pluto there, right? Pluto needs you to step up and help with the change that's being ushered in. And so how do you do that? You have to figure out what it is you want and how you want to go about getting what it is you want to do for yourself. And then, because if you're not happy, no one else can be happy for you. And like some astrologers are saying, sovereignty, the word sovereignty keeps coming up, meaning who are you inside? Do you know who you are? And how can you find out, right? And some of the suggestions, which is really being talked about a lot, is fasting, not eating everything you would want, and maybe, slowly start not eating the same things that you have a habit of eating every day. Maybe junk food can be one of it that you cut out. It could be soda. I know I like soda. So these are little things you can start to release, and it will help your brain fog to release. And, I'm at the point where I basically eat vegetables and fruit all day, and then I'll have my meal at night with my family. And where I run into problems there is that I'll have dessert at night, which I don't want to do. So I've been trying to have my dessert in the morning with my coffee and be able to work it off during the day. So these are things I'm thinking about. Then I'm at the point where I don't eat dessert for about 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, in a month. And so that's helped a lot to make my brain sharper, but almost to the point where I can't sleep a straight 8 hours in a row. So I'm working on that, trying to figure out how to do that. But as Aries season's here, Aries' favorite thing is baseball. And so this is the time where baseball is a good example of the Aries Aquarius union here, in terms of there's 9 people on the team, and you're on the team, and you have your positions and you play. But when you're on offense and you're up to bat, you're the only person up to bat against the pitcher, right? And it's up to you to get a hit. It's up to you to run the bases and come back home. And you have your own percentage, and it's based on your own individual ability. So that's kind of what we're dealing with in the world, is that everyone now needs to step up to the plate, because we need to go on offense. Because things that are happening in the world are only going to snowball and avalanche, because this is just how fear operates. And I've talked about fear a lot. Fear makes you do a lot of things. And this new moon coming up on the 17th can bring in a lot of fear with all the planets that are in Aries. Because once the new moon comes in, it's going to be at one of the end degrees, and so we're heading into the ending, right? But a new moon is a beginning. So this new moon's going to be at 27, 28 degrees of Aries with the sun. And so that's the Anorretic degree we talk about, where everything is shifting. You're ending and beginning from the 27, more like the 28, 29, 0, 1, 2. These are the major degrees. And then for fixed signs, it's more 15, 16, I believe, degrees is more important there, which makes sense, right? Because they're fixed, so you have to be balanced where you can really do anything. Oh man, I guess we're put that back a little bit so you can see me. I didn't realize how dark it got in here. The other point is that after Mars meets up with Neptune, it's going to go meet up with Saturn. And Saturn, as it turns out, is kind of in its fall in Aries. It doesn't do well in Aries because it doesn't like to be all zoom, zoom, zoom. It likes to take its time, very, very long time to do anything, right? So Saturn isn't happy here. Mars is going to meet up with Saturn, and that's going to be kind of a really crazy day, and that's going to be next week as well, I believe on the 14th or 15th. And then we're going to head to the 17th, and that's going to be the Aries new moon at this degree I'm speaking of, the Anorite degrees of 28, 29 degrees of Aries with the sun, the moon sun. And also hanging over there is Chiron and Eris, who we talked about this past week on my Patreon page, where I do a daily podcast. And I do that live, and then I share the recording. And you only need to be a member of Patreon if you want to come listen to me for free. And I'm probably going to keep it for free for this year, just to see how it goes, see how consistent I can be, because things pop up all the time. But yeah, I have some followers over there and people are listening. I hope you come over there. But I talked about that this past week a lot, about how the new moon is going to really push us in such ways that we could feel angry and fearful, right? Two things that Mars and Saturn bring together. Fear, which is a Saturn thing, because Saturn needs to protect you from fear, from harm. And then Aries is delay, right? Mars doesn't like to be delayed, and Saturn likes to put up walls and say, you can't do that right now, you got to do this. You got to take your driver's license test before you can drive a car. So when those two meet up, it's going to be a little bit bonkers, because we push and pull energy, right? So we're going to deal with that a lot this week. This week is going to be very, very intense, especially it being the 15th. And the 15th day of any month is the most intense day. And in the tarot, it is the day of the devil, where you have to choose. Do I eat the apple? Do I hang out and eat it? Or do I get thrown out and eat the apple? Those are the choices we have to make. And that is what makes you an individual, is how you make your choices based on who you are. And the new moon comes in, and it's going to push us to really, really understand that a part of you is ending, whether you wanted it to or not. Depending on where your birth chart is, it can affect you in multiple ways. It can affect you emotionally. A relationship or something you love could end. It can affect you as a sun person. It can affect your core, your beliefs of something, maybe of yourself. It's not what you thought. As a rising sign, the world could see you either as very great leader or one of the worst leaders. And with the sun involved again at this degree, it's going to involve a lot of thank you. It's going to involve a bunch of leaders being looked at. They're really going to look at leaders. There's going to be a lot of changes going on with leaders because of this Aries sun with Saturn, who is the father, the patriarchy. So the patriarchy is going to go through some things these next couple of years. and the matriarchy is Neptune. And Jupiter has no meetings this week during the new moon, which some astrologers are saying that our wisdom is being blocked out because the new moon blacks out the sun. So the wisdom in Jupiter in Cancer is being blocked out, the matriarchy. But instead of looking at it that way, it's trying to say what's ending for you is that you no longer can rely on your mother, is how I see the message, is what I think the message astrologers are saying to how I see it, is that you no longer can depend on the wisdom of your mother. It's time that you come out of the cradle and out of your area, your limited little area, and head into the 11th house of Aquarius, where you're going to meet people in school, in wherever you're going to go, right? You're not going to be in the home anymore. So that's how I see it, is that if Jupiter at this moment that the moon is new in Aries and all these things are going, where also Saturn is having a nice trine to Pluto. And that's really amazing in terms of Saturn and Pluto both build and construct things that help groups of people, like, governments. So when you think about all these things happening, you start to see that it's a really big deal what's happening, and that you kind of have to have a plan, because as these things this is the opening and closing, right? So we're closing out, but we're also opening. And Uranus is preparing to move into Gemini soon, where the air and fire will really be pushing hard, which is not doing yet, but it's close. But with all these planets in Aries, a cardinal sign, we need to step up for ourselves and demand better treatment for ourselves. Like the victims of the Epstein file want you to understand they were mistreated and it shouldn't be going on. And the fact that no one has got prosecuted for anything and is actually president means that we are in a very, very, very unique ending of a civilization. And that civilization is the patriarchy equaling war. When the patriarchy has fear, and what is their fear of? Being old, being insufficient, being, what's the word that they use Viagra for? Right? The older you get, you need Viagra. And why did you invent Viagra? And why do you need your libido as you get older? Now we see it's all been the plan to have men be able to have multiple wives and have multiple children. And I remember watching The King and I about Thailand, and the king at the time that was in the movie portrayed had 20 wives and a bunch of concubines, and he had like 500 children. So I understand the masculine energy. I have 4 sons, and I wanted 4 sons because I wanted them to be raised to be caring and care about women and understand what it is we go through just being women and what you go through being a boy. And I want to help that with you with that, and you can help me with that. And that's how it's worked out. And that's what really a family dynamic is about, right? So if the whole world is a family dynamic, We need to begin with helping our children to stand for their sovereignty of who they are, and have others also accept and appreciate and do that, because they also went through it. And that's called empathy, right? Empathy is understanding what someone else is going through. If you lack empathy, then you have to learn empathy by talking to people and helping, volunteering at a homeless shelter. Things like that will help you have empathy. So the new moon is really the big thing of this week. So the moon right now is in Capricorn, going into Aquarius. And by Friday, the moon goes into Aries. So that means that it will probably get in there, because, so right now we're at Capricorn. Then we're going to go to Aquarius Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So that probably means the moon's there all night tonight. And then tomorrow, Aquarius moons begins. And that'll be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Possibly into Tuesday. Then Tuesday night into Wednesday will be the the Pisces moon. The Pisces moon's probably going to be so yeah, we still have to do the Pisces moon. So the Pisces moon will probably move out on Thursday night. And then by Friday night, the moon will be moving out. That sounds about right. I didn't quite look at the whole chart for the whole week, because I talk about it daily on my Patreon. So a lot of times now, my weekly astrology report for the week will really be highlighting the main things that are occurring that week, and how it affects us personally, and how it affects the world in the mundane world. And as you can see right now, I saw the chart today for when they brokered that ceasefire, and Mars was at 29 degrees of Pisces. So that wasn't going to work out, because that's the ending and beginning, right? And that was going to work out. And so right now we know that by the time July comes, all the outer planets will be moving forward and in their own signs that they're moving into. Because right now all the planets are moving forward. And I do believe someone does retrograde by the end of July, maybe. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. And I'll be back next week on YouTube. And I will share this on Patreon as well. But come and join me on Patreon. It's Monday through Thursday. I try to get it out by noon. And we just talk about that day and what's going on that day, personally and mundane world. So that's it for now. I will talk to you next week. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And lots of love and kisses to everyone.